Later on, there's a chance to get your thinking caps on and test your powers of deduction in our fabulous game show, Whose Breasts Are They? And that's followed by a special programme showing more of the zany, knockabout antics of the hilarious Frankie Jolly, who died today in a car crash. But for the moment, it's time to join Mike Channel and Mike Flex, your hosts for the next 47 hours for this year's KY Tellython.
Welcome to the KY Tellython.
Yes, once again, it is time for Brown Nose Day.
Yes, indeed. Yes, we've got a host of celebrities who are helping raise money. We've got an army of charity workers who are giving up their time.
And we've got a bank manager who's wearing nothing but a pair of incontinence pants. So,
a lot of fun there. Plus, lots of celebs doing things they wouldn't normally do, especially for the telethon. In the corner of the studio, Oliver Reed is going without a drink for as long as he's unconscious.
And later on, Mary Whitehouse will be taking part in a threesome with Charles Dance and a goat. So, don't turn off.
Look forward to that.
What fun. What camera are we on, mate?
Over here, mate.
All right, and we're hoping very much that we're going to top last year's total, aren't we?
Yes, shouldn't be too hard, as we didn't actually have a telethon last year.
Yes, but if each of our viewers were to send us £1, just imagine how much money we'd have.
Just over £1, I should say. So, to find out what's going on around the country... Thanks, Mike. Let's start by linking up with Anna Dapter, who's going to be talking to some of the people raising money for Brown Nose Day today in this year's KY Marathon.
All right, Anna? Anna? We'll come back to her in a little bit. Anyway, we've got people right round the country helping us today, so let's start by going over to my old friend Graham Batty up in Scotland. Hi, Graham. Graham? Hi, Graham.
Where do you want me to stand?
Graham obviously not 100% ready there, so let's now go over to our man in Birmingham, Phil Longman. Well, I'm terribly sorry. We seem to be having a little difficulty with the sound in Birmingham. So let's go over to Wales.
Croeso i'r studio, a na'n hir y gys. Mae blasa i'r fwrdd gyda dahi, a gyd, hethu.
No, sorry, something seems to be jumbling the sound from Wales there. One person we know we'll get through to, and that's Martin Brown, because he's just joining us in the next studio. Hello, Martin.
Hello, Mike.
Oh, great. Thank goodness you can hear me anyway. So, what do you have lined up for us, Martin?
What? Hello, Mike. Hello.
Great. Martin obviously just rehearsing his line there. Well, so far so technically all over the bloody shop, but I believe we can join Mike Channel, who's popped downstairs to our foyer where there's an auction going on. Hello, Mike.
Well, I can hardly stand up for the bustle of people down here, Mike. It's just everyone really entering into the spirit of the thing. It's just a crazy atmosphere. I'll catch you later, Mike, if I'm still standing.
Great. Well, I believe we can now go back and link up with our man in Scotland, Graham Batty.
Hello, Mike. Yes, I'm up here in Borney, Scotland. Hawkeye the New, as I believe they say up here. And let me tell you, it's a bra brick moonlit nick the nicht on this beautiful sunny afternoon up here.
Great. Seen any haggis?
Oh, well, I saw a couple copulating in Princess Street Gardens.
But no haggis?
No.
Great.
Anyway, Mike, a while the new, and let me tell you, I've been joined here by Little Morag, and we've already made a great start to this year's telethon, haven't we, Morag? The Edinburgh City Fathers have made a donation of £1. Thanks for that. And, oh, your change is in the post.
Great. OK, let's go over to Janice Price-Jones, right the other end of the country, in Wales.
Hello, croeso nôl i'r Gymru yn Waith Echo, and yes, I've been joined here by little Miss Fanwy, who's come all the way from the lovely Welsh village of...
Edinburgh, by the look of it. Great, OK, well, let's just go back and see if we can hear now from Phil Longman in Birmingham. Yes, Phil there trying to tell us about where some of the money is going. I think. Well, let me tell you that, welcome back, Mike. Right round the country, people are apparently doing their bit for Brown Nose Day, aren't they?
Yes, the Duke of Westminster has opened his gardens for the general public. The Princess Royal has organised a trip to Brighton for a party of school children. And the Duchess of York has gone skiing for a fortnight. She's just gone skiing, in fact.
Thanks very much to her. OK, well, in Oxford, a group of students have been out on the streets changing around all the one-way signs so that nobody can get out of the city centre. Nothing to do with the telethon, apparently, but still looks like a lot of fun anyway. Mike.
Super. And here at KYTV, we've just heard that our entire team of telephone operators have decided to do their bit by all buggering off early for lunch. So apologies if you're having difficulty getting through with your donations.
What's up? What's up? It's KYTV.
Well, there's all sorts of people here today in the audience doing wonderful things, I know, for the telethon. There's a lady just here. What's your name, my darling?
Eileen.
Eileen, that's a super name, my love. What are you going to be doing?
Well, Mike, I'm doing a sponsored breathe-in.
A sponsored breathing, that's great. And that's for the telethon, and you're good. What's that involve?
Well, I have to take as many breaths as I can within the hour, and I get sponsored for each breath.
That's fabulous. OK, off you go then, Eileen. That's brilliant. OK, just down in front of you here is somebody called...
Paul.
Paul, that's great. And what are you going to be doing for the telethon, mate?
Well, I've just eaten 10 tins of baked beans. I'm going to try and fart for the next 4 hours. Stop.
OK, off you go then, mate. Yes, OK, well, smashing. Let's just see if we can try and get Phil Longman again up there in Birmingham. No, fine, right. Well, let's just see if we can, in fact, then make contact with Anna down at the marathon.
Nobody move, I've lost a contact lens.
Oh, no, so obviously not. Well, let's go back to Mike and see if things are quietened down at all in the packed foyer.
Well, let me tell you, Mike, they haven't. It's even more crazy than it was before because another 200 people have just turned up, so it's absolutely mad out here. I can't begin to see. Well, let me show you one or two things that are going to be auctioned here very shortly. First off, Linford Christie's famous blue shorts. They haven't even been washed, apparently, so that's a real collector's item there. Then there are the 3 jumpers kindly donated to us by David Coleman, Ian Botham and Bill Beaumont. We're not actually going to bother to auction these off. They're just being donated directly to the Royal Society for the Blind. A signed copy of Sting's album Dream of the Blue Turtles. Although it's actually been signed by Martin Brown, unfortunately. A genuine signed copy this time of the book Rock Stars in Their Underpants by Paula Yates, and the sequel, Paula Yates in Her Underpants, by a lot of rock stars. And Elton John has very kindly donated this gold disc for sales of his #1 single, Sacrifice, which I think shows the very high regard that artists...
And I believe we can now make contact with Anna Dapter at the KY Marathon. Hello, Anna.
Well, the atmosphere here is tremendous. There's a man coming here dressed as a clown, and even sillier than that, there's someone wearing a policeman's uniform.
Give us all your money, give us all your money, give us money, give us money, give your money, give your money, give it now!
Well, there are a number of charities, Excuse me. There are a number of charities you can give to, and we just heard that Mr. and Mrs. Douglas of Brentwood Drive in Leicester have donated their house to help the homeless, as a result of which they now have nowhere to live. Still, it's all in a good cause.
Yes, indeed. And with the telethon now well underway, it's time to roll the scoreboard.
So, as a result of those thousands of people working flat out round the clock, we've now got 7p. Yes. Still, hopefully it'll all change once the telephone operators get back from lunch.
Yes, well, lots of fun tonight, but remember, behind the funny, there's the money. And this year, some of that money will be going towards keeping open some of our severely underfunded hospitals. And some tremendous news, the government are going to donate £2 million.
Well, that's insane.
Unfortunately, they're going to raise it by closing down St Luke's Hospital in Norwich.
So we now need to raise £2 million to keep St Luke's open. Well, we went down there to find out a bit about the hospital and to meet some of the people who will be helped by your money.
Now, St. Luke's, like so many other hospitals, is desperately in need of vital equipment. With your money, we hope to be able to buy them some of the equipment they so desperately need, like these table tennis bats. Well, here we've got a lovely little girl. What's your name?
Mary.
Mary? So, Mary, are you well?
No, that's why I'm in hospital.
Yes. Oh, that's a lovely doll.
It's from Jane.
From Jane, yes. And when did you get it?
This morning.
Yes, this morning. Lovely.
Yes, I took it out of her bed when she went for her operation. It's a very serious operation. I might get to keep the dolly.
Well, here's somebody who really looks as if they could do with support from the KY Tellython. Excuse me. You look as if you're going to be here for some time.
Yeah, I've broken just about every bone in my body.
Oh, how did you do that?
Jumping off Clifton Suspension Bridge on the end of a bungee rope just as a budgerigar.
What made you do a silly thing like that?
I was raising money for your bloody telethon.
Well, I'm here with lovely old Gertie Patterson. How old are you, Gertie?
82.
82. And Gertie, you've got a brother called Fred, who you haven't seen for over 40 years. Is that right?
Yes. How did you know?
Ah, yes. Well, Fred emigrated to Australia all those years ago, and you haven't seen him since. And when we heard about this, we sent someone out from the station all the way to Australia. So, Gertie, I'm here to tell you now that surprise! He was run over by a bus 5 years ago.
Provide the homeless with some string, help to make a blind man see, give an OAP a swing, KY Telethon.
Fantastic, a very worthwhile cause, Mike, I think.
That's right, and I think it's very encouraging that all of you out there are willing to help by giving up your hard-earned...
Sevenpence.
Sevenpence, yes. But I think it shows that people today are perhaps more concerned and sensitive than they used to be, Mike.
They certainly are,
Take my elderly mother, for example. Now, as you know, she can be a bit of an embarrassment in public, but yes. I now feel I can quite happily take her out without worrying, whereas, of course, a few years ago, I kept her locked up in an attic and told everyone she was dead.
Yes, as you say, we're a more compassionate society now.
Yes, I think we are.
So let's now go back and join Anna at the marathon.
Excuse me? What? Oh, what sort of time are you hoping for today?
Well, I'm hoping to beat my time for last year's marathon.
And what was your time for last year's marathon?
I don't know, I haven't finished it yet.
Well, as in previous years, we'll be giving to a variety of charities. Last year, we raised a considerable amount of money for Help a London Child, as a result of which that child has been living in a penthouse suite at the Ritz ever since. Money also went to our Help a London Junkie appeal, by the end of which we were able to supply the needy with over £20,000 worth of hard drugs. But our tour de force was when our money went to converting an old field with a few cattle in it into a leisure centre and playground. The result, a herd of the fittest and healthiest cattle in the country.
Some great causes, so dig deep. Well, ever since the telethon started, 10 minutes ago, in fact, proceeds from it have been used to help underprivileged kids by organising adventure holidays. Well, our intrepid Martin Brown arranged this year's adventure holiday, and he told me all about it just a few weeks ago.
Yes, that's right, Mike. This year we've given 25 deprived East End kids the opportunity to recreate the journey of a famous British explorer.
Oh, marvellous.
And we called it Operation Scott. After Captain Scott, the famous Antarctic explorer whose journey they are recreating.
And they're following it pretty faithfully, are they not?
Oh, yes, Mike, following it faithfully right through to the end.
And they're on their way now?
Yes, and what a magnificent sight it was. 25 barefoot East End kids setting out alone across the frozen Antarctic wastes.
Did they take anything with them at all?
Well, several of them had buckets and spades. I think one or two of them thought we were going to Margate.
Did they have anything else with them at all?
Yes, they all had KYTV T-shirts provided absolutely free by the station.
Oh, well done us.
Yes. And, you know, for many of these kids, it's the first time they've been abroad, and who knows, for some, it may well turn out to be the last.
Well, down in the foyer, the last auction item has now gone. That was a signed photograph of Cliff Richard. For a time, it looked as if we'd have to give it away, in fact, until someone came in and paid us £250 in cash. So it's many thanks to Mr. Harry Webb for his kind generosity. Well, let's take this opportunity of dropping in again on Graham Batty in Edinburgh.
Anyway, there's lots of talent up here and great events. And as I say, we've been holding a Kenneth Kendall lookalike competition. And with me now is the winner. And you are...
Kenneth Kendall.
Anyway, come in, that's it. Anyway, Kenneth, you have won yourself a tin of shortbread just by looking like yourself.
Oh, thank you. I'm really pleased about that, because last year I only came fourth.
OK, well, let's go over to Wales. A little bit later, perhaps, Mike.
Yeah, smashing. Well, lots of fun there. Perhaps this is a good time, once again, to roll the scoreboard. At least it looks like someone's managed to get through, if only to ask for their sevenpence back.
Yes, well, I'm glad to say anyway that our telephone receptionists have finally made it back from lunch. So one or two pledges have come in. Let's see. The Rose and Crown in Maidenhead pledge 1p for every pint of beer drunk between 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
The fourth form at Braesmore Comprehensive in Durham have pledged £50 if we say hello to Mr. F.U.Sicky. Is that? C.K.? Mr. F.U.C.K. Not sure why. Never mind, it's all for charity.
Absolutely. Smashing. Well, Martin Brown is doing his bit today by taking part in a sponsored parachute jump, and I believe we can join him now. Oh, hello, Martin. How's it going?
Yes, well, it's pretty scary, Mike, but it's all for a very good cause, and I hope to raise lots of money for those dear little orphans, so here goes!
Oh, well done, Martin. Hope to speak to him in a few minutes. Splendid. Well done, Martin, yes. Anyway, what camera? There. Thank you very much indeed. Let's now catch up with Anna down there at the marathon.
Well, this runner seems to be putting on a bit of a spurt. Why have you started sprinting?
I just saw Jimmy Savile's coming up behind
me! Well, let's just look once again at where some of your money is going. A year ago, this park was a derelict wasteland, but with the help of your money, it's now the site of a brand new KYTV studio.
Yes, so you see, your money certainly isn't wasted by us, is it, Mike?
Not at all. Let's go back to Anna.
Are you taking part in the marathon to raise money for the telethon?
I'm not taking part in a marathon. I'm chasing some bugger who's nicked my clothes.
You've got to wise up, phone up, cough up.
People from all walks of life will be giving freely of their time to help the telethon. In particular around schools and hospitals where wheel clampers will be doing their best to try and clamp as many cars as possible.
In Bath, the police have been given sweeping new powers to raise money by fining people on the spot for being too short.
Not before time. Smashing. So obviously lots of fun going on around the country. Let's go back and see if we can get Birmingham again.
Well, I'm sorry we didn't get that. Not that sorry, in fact. Right, well, I'm delighted to be joined here now by a man you may remember as a great music hall entertainer, Chester Chuckles. Welcome, Chester. Now, I understand you're living in an old entertainer's home in Broadstairs.
That's right, Mike, but I'm delighted to be able to come out of retirement and do my bit here today. As you can see, I've brought the Uber and the fish. So, here goes.
There seems to be some slight mix-up, Chester. We are actually appealing for money on your behalf.
Oh. So you don't want the tuber and the fish out?
No, we just want you to look a bit old and helpless, really.
Oh. What about the exploding trousers?
Later. Well, let's go back once again to see if we can hear from Birmingham. And Phil Longman.
Sorry.
Yes, well, I'm sure that's got something to do with raising something or other for Telethon.
Well, lots of the money you've not now raised, none of it, will be going towards helping the elderly. And here to talk a bit about some of the particular problems they face is our agony aunt, Anna Rabies.
Hi.
Hi. So, Anna, during the cold winter months, a lot of old or infirm people face considerable danger being confined to their homes, often without a phone. What should they do?
Well, obviously, they must just ring up a friend or a parent and explain the problem.
Yes, but what if they don't have a phone?
Well, quite simply, they're going to have to nip next door to a neighbour and say quite openly, look, I'm old, I'm confined to my home, and I need help.
Yes. A lot of them may not be able to leave their homes, of course, being confined to them.
Well, no, but that's where the phone comes in.
Yes, I think we've already established they haven't got a phone.
Oh, well, they must get one. It's as simple as that.
They can apply for a grant for one, can they?
They can apply for a grant for one.
Good.
Until they're blue in the face. And if they haven't got any money, then they can obviously get a small part-time job. There are plenty of bar staff work, casual labouring jobs around, that sort of thing.
Yes, so what should you do if you have an old or infirm person living near you and you're worried they might be in danger?
Well, it's quite simple. You must go and see them and explain quite openly that this has been worrying you, that you've been feeling anxious about it, that you've not been able to get on with your own life, so you'd like them to move.
Well, many thanks, Anna, for the loan of your sympathetic ear. I hope there aren't too many old people living near you.
Well, there aren't now.
KYTV, the caring station.
Yes, the Dishy Dish Girls are going to be round your parts again today. As part of the KY Tellython, the Dishy Dish Girls will be selling kisses for 50p. Or just £2.50 for a tongue down the throat job. Yes, the Dishy Dish Girls are dishing it up in your high street today, so get down there and get snogging.
It's a great way to help society's underprivileged.
And it's a great way to help yourself to a Dishy Dish Girl. So give generously to a charity of your choice and get a tongue sandwich into the bargain.
I only had a £10 note and I didn't have any change.
Well, I think it's probably time to check on our progress, so let's roll the scoreboard. Still pretty much on the starting blocks at the minute. Mike.
Great. Well, let's now meet some of our celebrities who are manning the phones here.
Hello, you're through to the KY Telethon. Who's this? Oh, David, hello. You're talking to Tony Blackburn. David, hello?
Okay, well, let's move on to our next celebrity here.
Marvellous. Absolutely going wonderfully well.
Is this a fan of yours, Rolf?
No, just phoning my brother in Australia. You don't mind, do you? I guess, sorry to get you out of bed. What time is it in Sydney, anyway?
Yes, do please make yourself at home. Great. Sue Cook is here. Sue, how's it going?
It's going really well, Mike. We've got a very good lead on that burglary in Sussex. But if anybody knows where those 25 gold embossed fishing gnomes are in Northampton, please do call.
Good. Well, let's bring you up to date with a few donations anyway. Mike.
Well, we're very fortunate to be the lucky recipients of these handsome cheques. The first for £40 from Perkins Travel in Telford. This one for £25 from Simpkins Hardware Store, Nuneaton. And this one for 35 pence from Barclays Bank International. And with me now is Mr. John Woodhead from Barclays. Thank you very much for your cheque, sir.
Yeah, at least we could do.
Quite.
What's up? What's up? It's KY Telethon.
Well, the competitors have been running for some time now, and I can tell you that American Chuck Mace is in the lead. So I'm going to try and have a quick word with him now as he passes. Oh, Chuck! Well, maybe this next runner. Can I just...
If you're poor and homeless with no hope of a job,
Then why not give generously to our telethon?
Well, I think it's probably time again for us to roll that scoreboard. Well, we'll come back to the scoreboard just as soon as we've found a way of stopping it. Yesterday's Master Quiz specially tailored for the telethon because for every correct answer I receive, I will personally give £1,000 to the telethon. Thank you so very much. Right, well, first off, will you give a big welcome, please, for Kevin? How are you, Kevin?
Well, I'm not too clever, actually, Mike. I've got a suspected duodenal ulcer.
Well, it's good to hear you well. Anyway, OK, Kevin, here's Dionne Warwick for £1,000. Can you tell me where she's on her way to?
Do you know the
to San...
Jose. San Jose.
San Jose, OK.
Do you know the way to San
Francisco? Very bad luck. Very bad luck. The S and the O were right, but just not quite what we were looking for. Off you go. OK, Simon, then. Your chance to get me to donate £1,000 to the telethon. Tell me, are you wearing steel cap boots?
No.
That's good, because you'll kick yourself when you get this wrong. Now, Simon, for £1,000, can you tell me what Peter, Paul and Mary are leaving on?
I'm leaving on a...
Jet plane.
A jet plane. OK, let's just see if you're right.
Leaving on a...
Oh, very bad luck. Very bad luck indeed. And Sarah, our final contestant here.
Ooh,
OK, tell me, Sarah, is there anyone you'd like to say hello to?
Emma?
Yeah, that's great. I'm sure you've got a phone. You can ring them up when you get home. OK. Right, Sarah, your last chance to win £1,000 for the telethon. Can you tell me which great hit of the 1960s began like this? Oh, dear, I'm afraid that's all there is at the intro to that particular song. Do you want to hear it again?
I Get Around by the Beach Boys.
I Get Around by the Beach Boys. Let's just see, shall we?
Round, round, get around.
Bugger, yes, you better be right. So that means that I have to give you the supplementary part to that question. So, Sarah, for the £1,000, which I'm going to give to the telethon, can you tell me which other great hit of the 1960s began like this? Do you want to hear it again? Oh, dear, very bad luck, I'm afraid, because there is absolutely no intro at all to this other great 60s hit, so...
Beatles' Yellow Submarine.
Beatles' Yellow Submarine. Let's just see, shall we?
In the town.
Oh, so close. So close. It was, in fact, the Beatles and Yellow Submarine. Very bad luck. So the winner is me. I get the £1,000. But, Sarah, you get to get off the set, please, because we have to get on with raising money for the telethon.
I'm here waiting for American Chuck Mace, who's in the lead, so that I can steal a word with him. And I think he should be coming round the corner in just a second. Oh, Chuck!
Well, it's very nearly time to sign off to BBC viewers, but let's have one final attempt to see if we can talk to Phil Longman down there in Birmingham.
Hello, hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Well, anyway, it doesn't really matter what we say here in Birmingham, because every time you come to us, you don't seem to get any sound. So let me just say, Mike, that the whole telethon has looked like a complete bull's up and that you yourself are a complete cabbage. So, up yours, Mike. Bye.
Yes, what a pity we couldn't hear from Phil earlier. Well, let's just say a final farewell to our other people out there in the four corners of the country.
And let's go over to St. Luke's, where so much of today's money is going. As you can see, the happy staff there, and the wall filling up nicely with casualties from this year's telethon. Perhaps they could all give us a final wave.
Super.
Great.
So let's just have a look at that final total.
And so from nothing, we seem to have jumped to 85.5 million in just over 6 minutes, which either indicates overwhelming generosity on your part or staggering faulty wiring on ours.
And personally, I'd go for the latter.
I'm being sponsored 5p a mile by my company.
And which company's that?
Well, I really don't think I should advertise.
Well, don't worry.
No. No.
But it's all right.
No, I really shouldn't. No.
Well, everyone else has.
Oh, OK, then. Orgy phone lines on 0898 654 022. They are hot and sticky.